With this hammer, I summon the power of Thor. Ah, shit. Ah, it shocked me. That makes me so angry. You won't like me when I'm angry. It's not even the right hammer, mate. Are you supposed to be Thor or the Hulk? What the hell are you doing here? I need you for like 10 seconds in my split review. Well, I don't get a lot of call to show up and, Chris Hemsworth, Australian. That's an Australian accent? Seriously? I thought you were Scottish this whole time. They already clicked away, man. Let's just get to the review. Thor Ragnarok is part Thor movie, part 80s fantasy movie, and part Planet Hulk. The movie follows Thor trying to prevent Ragnarok and trying to stop the goddess of death, Hela, who is played by a strangely attractive Kate Blanchett in all black. She's very attractive in this movie. But along the way, he's captured by the Grandmaster, played by Jeff Goldblum, at his maximum Jeff Goldblumness. And the Grandmaster forces him to compete for his freedom in this gladiatorial arena, where the champion is the Hulk, who has been missing since the events of Age of Ultron. So I think everybody behind this movie creatively wanted to make something distinctly different from the last two Thor movies, which are nobody's favorite Marvel movies. I think the problem a lot of people had with the last two Thor movies is that the majority of them took place on Earth, and they dealt with a lot of Natalie Portman and her science crew. Those guys are all gone in this movie. The stories of the last two Thor movies were also pretty bland and generic, except the first movie. I kind of like it. It's Shakespearean tragedy. Also, Thor's arc was pretty much done at the end of the first Thor movie. He goes from being this overly cocky, battle-hungry hero to just being a humble guy ready to lead at the end of the first Thor movie. So there's nowhere really to go from there except with Thor 2 and with a bland filler. Honestly, I couldn't tell you what happened in Thor 2 to save my life. I think Natalie Portman got raped by a red thing. This movie takes away everything that didn't work with the last two Thor movies and subverts your expectations of what you think would happen in a Thor movie. No more hammer, which if you ask the layman, that would be Thor's defining character trait. There's a lot more emphasis on comedy in this movie, even compared to a lot of the other Marvel movies, which might turn some people off. But I'm actually fine with the comedy in this movie when it stays true to the character of Thor. Like Thor being a cocky warrior and lying to Bruce Banner about beating him in the gladiatorial arena, that's all fine to me. But when he says to Hela, like, "Oh, you are the worst," that comes off as cringy. It does feel like they emphasize the more douchey dude bro aspects of Thor's character rather than the regal, humble warrior of Thor's character. I'd rather more of a balance. The director is Taika Waititi. Sorry if that's how you don't pronounce your name, New Zealand man. He's mostly a comedy director, and he handles all that well. There's a lot of improvisation, apparently, in this movie. When you think you're heading for a dramatic moment, the movie will go for the joke. So that's a Marvel staple, though I shouldn't put all the blame on him. Plus, the movie kept it fairly consistent tone-wise, unlike, say, Civil War. But this leaves the movie without dramatic stakes. You don't believe the characters care, so we don't really care. It's hard for me not to link these changes with the success of Guardians of the Galaxy. You have more implementation of the space elements, you have the immigrant song from Led Zeppelin, and you have much more emphasis on comedy than either of the Thor movies. There even seems like a bit of fourth wall breaking in the beginning of the movie that seems like it's straight from that guy right there. But this movie sidesteps it right away. It gives you the implication that it's a fourth wall break, but it's not really. It cheats a little. The Hulk has been marketed as a big part of this movie, no pun intended, but he does steal the show though. He was hilarious. The fight between him and Thor is amazing and well directed. It was probably my favorite part of the movie, and I love his demeanor in the movie. He has a pouty child demeanor because he's been the Hulk for 2 years now. Loki's back. Tom Hiddleston is great as usual, charismatic. He's still doing the mischievous, but you can see that he's probably could be good if he wants to be. I think that was his arc in Thor 2 as well. Kate Blanchett was completely hamming it up as the villain who just completely loves being evil. Nothing game-changing about her being a villain except she's a girl. Rock monster named Korg, played by the director himself, was the funniest character in the whole movie. Very soft-spoken in contrast to his giant appearance, and he was hilarious. Every line he said was gold. The movie takes a lot of its humor from all over the MCU, from all the other Avengers movies, so it rewards you if you've seen the other movies. Lots of pop culture references too, especially to 80s films, my favorite of which is a homage to the tunnel scene from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, which doesn't make any sense in the context of the movie, but I loved it anyway. So this movie is really fun, really funny, really good action. Decent enough story. It does take a little while to get going. The movie really picks up when Hela shows up. If you went into this expecting dramatic storylines, like the comic storyline, like Planet Hulk or Ragnarok, you're going to be disappointed. I didn't have a problem with this movie tone-wise because this movie was marketed as an action comedy, and I got an action comedy. I had a problem with Age of Ultron's tone because it was marketed as this super dark thing, and it was not. So see this movie for a good time at the theater. Bye.